About 8 years ago, I found myself living alone. And the first day I came home to that empty nest, I went around and I touched things that my twins had touched, the doorknob, the faucets, just so I could feel a connection with them. And I went to the computer and I searched for, what do you do when you're lonely? And up came 1,000 suggestions. So I tried the first one, which was running, because I wanted to see what the hell my kids saw in running cross country. And a week later, my doctor said, what the hell did you think running so intensely at your age? So I tried a bunch of other things that were on that list. And every time I tried something and it didn't work, I got kind of discouraged. And after about the 8th time, I kind of thought I was getting a little hopeless. And I thought, geez, after a while, I'm going to stop trying and loneliness is going to beat me. So the strangest thing happened. I saw a pop-up ad on the right-hand side of the computer, and it was for a breakfast Rotary roundtable. And I thought, I always wanted to join a club with old people. So I said, well, I'll go to that. So I went. People seemed really nice. They invited me to a Rotary meeting. And I walked in, and I pretty much realized right at the beginning, these are my people. These are ethical, successful leaders who are committed to making the world a better place. I made acquaintances, and I turned some of those acquaintances into friends. Some became good friends. I have one good friend who invites me to all his parties, and I'm often the only one that's there that's not an immediate relative. I have a really good friend. We had so much in common. We're both pilots. We were both managers at Hughes Aircraft Company. He invited me to the Civil War book club, and I joined it. Some more good friends. And I invited him to a party I had. It was a divorce party to celebrate my Independence Day of my own. And this guy didn't know what to bring to a divorce party. So he found the perfect gift. It was in honor of my husband, who he never knew. And this friend of mine brought a bottle of wine named Plunger Head Wine. I still have it. Well, he was quite a gentleman, but unfortunately he passed away this year. And I'm so grateful that I got to go to his 90th birthday party last year. My Rotary mentor put together a video of his life, and I was there with all of his family and 52 Rotarians. Aren't we lucky to have celebrated that glorious day with him, what turned out to be his last birthday? I have another kind of friend in the club, very special kind of friend. I call him a friend for life. Because in my research, I found out that people who have friends live on the average 7 years longer than lonely people. So I asked this guy, he's a former Army Ranger, you might know. I gave him the Friends for Life test. I said, will you help me move? He said, of course. Will you help me move a body? Without question. Would you bail me out of jail at 3 in the morning with your own money? No matter what you did, I'll be there for you, Lynn. Would you give me a kidney? And he said, Lynn, I'll die for you, but I'm not going to give you a kidney. That's just icky. I figured that was close enough. Outside this meeting, the world is in a perfect storm of divisiveness. We have political polarization that is just beyond unbelievable. We have a global pandemic that's causing distrust and isolation. And we have racial violence that's unlike anything I've seen in this lifetime. Inside this club, I have a friend who called me up and he said, Lynn, I know you live a block away from that racial violence. And if you ever feel unsafe, you are like a member of this family. You show up anytime, stay as long as you want. That meant a lot to me. Inside this club, Rotary is kind of like an oasis in this storm of divisiveness. But we could do more than that, I think. I think we could become a garden spot by making better friendships. So how do we do that? Well, the first thing to do is to make more friends. And this is kind of a coincidence, because when I was researching loneliness, I found out that the best way to make a new friend is to show goodwill. Those 4-way test inventors, they kind of knew what they were talking about, because item 3 is build goodwill and better friendships. So how do you build goodwill? Well, you can try it by just walking into a meeting or joining a Zoom and just silently thinking good thoughts toward the person, like, hope you have a good meeting. Or, do you seem like an interesting person? You don't need to say anything. You just think these things toward a person. Or you might say, I admire your courage. Are those bell-bottom pants you're wearing? Is that a neighbor jacket? You try this. You walk down the street, and you pass somebody, and you just send them good silent wishes, and you see if people don't smile at you more. It's really remarkable. So how do you make deeper friendships? Well, one way is to act on that goodwill that you were thinking. The guy that you thought was interesting, maybe you say, I'm going to call him up. I'm going to ask him out for breakfast. Or the guy with the narrow jacket, well, that's tougher. That's some jacket you got on there. Where did you get it? Well, I have a vision for this club, that a year from now, we look back, and no matter what's going on out there, we see that we've made more friends and deeper friendships than we could have imagined. What are the odds that we'd be in this club together? What are the odds you'd find yourself among all these people that are like you? They're ethical, successful leaders who want to make the world a better place. Well, let's start right here, right now. Let's make this club a better place. Let's make some really good friends. Let's celebrate more birthdays together. Hell, let's have more birthdays of our own. Because who knows, you might even make a friend for life, someone who actually would give you a kidney. Thank you guys for listening. Thanks, Matt.
Wow. Yeah.
Bravo. Bravo.
That
Thank
was
you very much,
beautiful.
Lynne.